The country of India contains diverse cultures within its borders. Generally, people don't interfere with cross cultures as long as they get to peacefully practice their own. But sometimes, when a culture's base beliefs do not connect with that of another, you'll see a massive spread of hate. Sadly, culture is a human-made concept and is bound to create conflicts. There are some cultures like Aghoris that are considered unusual. The Aghoris sadhus of India have a bizarre way of living, and it really makes you stop and think. Most of their rituals include death and everything related to it. Even other rituals involve extremities such as cannibalism, drinking urine, and not wearing clothes, among others. Because of such rituals and more, they've been shunned from Indian society and are always looked down upon. One of their many bizarre rituals is called Shavputra. It is an extremely private ceremony. In this ceremony, the Aghoris require a human corpse to meditate on. Later, they chop its head off and keep the skull, which they use as a vessel for their daily morsels. They believe that the skull holds the most energy in the human body, and to keep it reminds them of the impermanence of life. Under the new moon, they chant mantras, make offerings to Shiva, and consume the flesh of the corpse. This has also earned them the tag of Indian cannibals. The human dead bodies are obviously hard to find since most Indians cremate the bodies. But some poor families can't afford cremation and hence dump the bodies into the rivers. These bodies are then fished out by Aghoris. Some of them even have sex with female corpses. Aghoris believe that they cannot please God until they make this human sacrifice, and that such rituals will help them gain a higher level of spirituality and supernatural powers. A tourist writer who once met an Aghori priest reported that he was told that the sadhu was consuming a concoction of alcohol, cannabis, and human ash, drinking it straight from a human skull. Aghoris believe that there is only one God, Shiva. In their eyes, everything he has created, good or bad, should be treated equally. Hence, their rituals are carried out with only one purpose: to embrace what society considers dirty, and transcend spiritual levels to reach God. For them, the beautiful and the dirty, the human and the animal, the living and the dead, all stand the same because each of these things is created by their god Shiva. However, what's different about them is that they do not worship by idolizing. Instead, they rely on meditation to transcend spiritual levels. While meditating, they use a combination of alcohol and marijuana for greater concentration, claiming that it gets them to a spiritual level more closer to God. To be precise, it should be called their way of not dressing up. They wear few to no clothes and their bodies remain smothered in human ash. They also hardly take baths. As for their hair and beard, it remains uncut throughout their lives. You'll always find them heavily drugged with eyes that seem sober. Based on these abnormal practices, and contrary to what we'd assume, they live quite a peaceful life. They are taught to let go of hatred, and in case an Aghori carries hatred, he has to consume it by learning to meditate and let go of violent thoughts. To put it briefly, the members of the Aghori culture boldly conducts all those activities that are considered taboo and evil by society. Indian society hasn't had a friendly attitude towards them because of these rituals and the likeliness that they deal with black magic. It has created a fearful aura in people, resulting in refusal to show acceptance towards their culture. To locate them within the country is very difficult because they mostly live on the margins of societies and in extreme weather conditions like deserts, caves, mountains, etc. Many also live in the holy city of Varanasi at cemeteries and other places where people normally don't go. Aghoris are also known for their practice of medicine. When Western medicines fail, people often go to Aghori sadhus to get their diseases treated. It is believed that Aghoris can transfer health to other bodies through transformative healing. Still, it hasn't been verified if these practices work. Though unusual, Aghori rituals do not harm others and neither do they interrupt other lives. Yet, they have been constantly shamed and called uncultured for having their own set of beliefs. So much so that, there's even an Indian metaphor with the term Aghori, used when referring to a filthy person. When someone hasn't had a bath, looks filthy, or smells, they'd be told, "Stop roaming around like an Aghori." Or, "You are looking like an Aghori." If only people took a closer look, they'd realize that the Aghoris have the same underlying reason for their practices as any other theist would, to seek God. Aghoris seek an ascetic lifestyle, and as long as their practices do not cause harm to others, They should be left on their own and to their wish.